Okay, so in Theme Park Tycoon 2, I see a lot of people whose parks aren't very good because all they do is kind of place stalls around and they don't really know how to make it look like really good. Your parks usually look something like this. Like you try to make a Disneyland as it says in the front, and then you end up making that. When I mean a lot of you make parks like this, I mean like 99.999% of you make parks like this. And I'm gonna show you in this video how to make it look like this and turn it into something really cool without even having to make a whole new park, but just adding stuff on top of your already built parks. I'm gonna actually go and load in a very old park that doesn't look good at all, and I'm gonna be trying to fix that park to make it look good, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. Let's go here and load a game that's very old. I believe this Land of Amusement one is a super old park, so we're gonna do it. It's our number 4 park that we ever built, so let's try to fix this one. Okay, I can already tell it is a little bit old and has a lot of things we can improve on. Right off the bat, I don't see any like terrain that's going up and down, and the only terrain I see that is going up and down right here isn't even smoothed out. The first thing you can do, I've said this in a lot of my videos, is smooth your terrain out. So if your park has terrain that is just all blocky like this, make sure to use your edit terrain height right here to just kind of make it up and down and actually make it smooth instead of all blocky like this. But one thing I do see that I did very good was actually make a fence out here. This fence right here actually makes it look so much better. So if you don't have a fence like this around your park, maybe make one. And then right here, there's a little cliff, so we're gonna bring the corner up to the cliff and the edge up to the cliff. Almost done over here. Last little section that I have to smooth out. That is actually a lot better, and I just barely started. So next up, I went into this little tunnel I made as an old noob. This does not look good at all. First of all, it's dark and there's no color and literally nothing in here. So first, I'm gonna even smooth out stuff inside of the tunnel like this. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're not gonna be able to see a ton of it, but it is nice to have some smooth parts inside of this tunnel. And now, because it kind of looks like it could be a mine area, I'm just gonna add some stuff that looks like a mine. So first, we'll get some wooden poles and then we'll just add those around, and you'll see that it's gonna make it look way better than it was in the beginning. Add some wooden poles, make it look like a mine. If you don't have a theme for sections, just make a random theme, and I promise it'll look better than without a theme. See, already I just added poles and look how much better it is. Now there's actually some kind of structure inside this mountain. Now I'm gonna be adding some lights, so we'll search up a light and maybe something that fits into the mine theme over here. And then we'll add some lanterns inside of these poles right here, because we do need light, and lanterns just look like they fit into a mine. Also, mines are like rock inside, so I'm gonna go to my paint terrain and just paint some of it rock, because having it grass doesn't really make a ton of sense. And I'm just gonna look inside of props and see if any of the stuff in here looks like it belongs in a mine. Gold obviously kind of feels like it belongs in a mine. Maybe we can add some gold all on the sides over here. Then maybe some wooden crates feels a little fitting, and then dynamite also feels a little bit fitting. Maybe we'll add the skull right there, and then we'll add some structure around it later. And then these train tracks look like they belong in a mine, so we're going to add some of these tracks maybe like right beside the actual train, and then we'll add an actual wagon right here, and boom, it's already so much better. Okay, now some things we can add is like these poles right here. Look, it just adds a ton of structure. And since this one has something hanging right there, we're gonna add one of these wooden frames right there. Maybe like to the top layer of the sides, we'll add these wooden frames. And look how much better this area already looks. It looks like a mine right here, and it looks very nice. And right here in this ride back here, I already see some problems because there isn't any terrain. So we're gonna be adding some terrain going up and to the side and stuff, because it'll just make it look way better. If you add these snowy rocks, it won't make any sense because it's not snowing since nothing else is snowy, so don't add it like that. So we're gonna delete some of these trees because it just kind of looks weird. And now what we want to do is add some more variety of trees, so we're gonna go to trees and we're just gonna add some of these big ones too. Already it's looking a lot better, and now we're just gonna add a little bit more terrain around. And if you do have disabled collisions, this next part is gonna help you a lot. What we can do is go onto rocks, and we're just gonna do like Benji's Adventures mode, where we basically just spam a lot of rocks and it will look really good. So we're gonna go to no snapping, and then the lowest snapping we can for that one, and then no snapping for this one too. And now we're just gonna basically just pile a ton of rocks together, and it will actually look very good. The only thing is, if you do a lot of rocks in one area and not rocks in other areas, that will actually look weird. So maybe with these rocks, do some rocks like all around too. Make sure to keep rotating so there's more variety and it doesn't look like the same exact rock just placed over and over again. I noticed here that there's no custom support parts for this little bridge area, so I'm gonna make some. Then we're gonna go back to our default snapping, and then we're just gonna place some metal poles. And if you want to get rid of these like default poles fast, all you can do is just place a ton of rocks under them, or just delete them with the delete tool. Add the bracket right there, bracket right there, and then brackets just all around, and that actually looks way better. Another thing I noticed is that this ride doesn't even have a station, so I'm gonna make an entire station for it. First, we gotta clear out some stuff around it, so then we actually have space for the station. And now we can maybe use the same poles we use for this bridge, but up here. So maybe we'll do just a little simple station. At least it is a station, because without a station, it just looks kind of odd. And then we'll get some roofs and ceilings and just make some random pattern that I feel like looks fine. And that right here looks like it's just hanging and it's about to fall and the building is gonna tumble down. So we're gonna add some more poles right here to just add some structure to it. And then we're gonna paint this roof because it looks really weird. And then make sure there's actually like a floor and not just grass inside of the station. So we're gonna add some floor as well, like this. And then maybe some fences at the end so people can't like escape. There's a little safety precaution there. And there we go. We just made that ride so much better. And I just noticed this ride back here doesn't have absolutely any scenery. So we're just gonna add a heck ton of just terrain and just a ton of scenery to this ride. So first with the terrain, we're gonna start off by making a lot of hills that like look blocky, but then we're gonna smooth out later. And these should be 100% random. And then maybe you can do some more terrain like over here if you had a ride like this. And also this like lake thing right here kind of looks sad because the terrain is just all plain and there's like no lily pads or rocks anywhere. So I'm just gonna add a lot of scenery and rocks and lily pads and stuff on here. So maybe like a rock right there, rocks on the edge over here, and then we're gonna add some lily pads. Much better. And now right here, there's just a ton of trees that are the exact same. So I'm going to delete some of these trees and add some different kinds of scenery. And also this waterfall does not look like a waterfall at all. So I'm going to just redo that entire thing. When you want to make a waterfall, you make sure to use this water emitter right here because none of the other ones will actually make it look very good. And then from there, you just kind of add them hidden behind the terrain and try to make that look good. Kind of like that. You can already see a lot of the water coming down over here. And now that looks like an actual waterfall. And now instead of adding some normal rocks, we're gonna get some primitives and paint them the rock color, and we'll maybe see what that looks like. And for these primitives, all you gotta do is kind of just rotate them randomly and see what it looks like, I guess. It's really just a random kind of thing, but also you gotta make them like spaced out enough so it doesn't look really weird. And make sure to rotate it almost every single time that you place one of these. Sometimes even just make them like different shapes, like maybe make some of these primitives really tall, and then maybe some of them really stubby and short. And look at that, that looks so much better, and it actually looks like a waterfall right there. And now this area is kind of cool, but inside of this cave it just looks sad, honestly. So we're going to be adding some more primitives in here, making it look like rocks. For these ones in here, honestly just add them like all over. The main reason I'm doing all this primitive stuff is so it doesn't look blocky and unnatural, and now it just looks like an actual cave instead of just a Minecraft block cave. Now it looks super detailed everywhere, and it looks like you actually put a lot of effort into it. Same with this cave inside of this area. So we're gonna grab our primitive and just start spamming some primitives in here. And now I have fixed the Minecraft blocky cave into something magical. Before it looked like a noob built it, now it looks like a better noob built it. And to make it not just a better noob, but actually a really good cave, what we can add is crystals and actually like greenery and like moss and stuff. And to do that, all we have to do is just add some bushes. So we're just gonna grab these bushes and just kind of add them randomly like that. And there you go. Now it looks like an actual pro built this cave. This is what we're gonna be looking for if you want to look like you built a really good building. All you have to do is add a lot of details like these little primitives everywhere, add some crystals around, and just kind of make some moss and like bushes and stuff just to add some different colors in there. And I can keep doing all of these things in this park over and over again to basically every single ride, but honestly I'd be here for hours because this park has a lot to improve on. So that's basically this entire video. Make sure to keep doing all these things in your park, and if you don't want to, honestly you don't have to fix your parks. You can just make them however you want. If you liked it, don't forget to go like it, and if you like this kind of content, make sure to go subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.